Welcome to Adaptiva. In this video, we'll cover the basic overview of our Green Planet Wake on LAN solution and how quick and easy it is to centrally manage starting computers from a powered-off state to apply Sccm applications, packages, software updates, or operating system deployment task sequences. Having the ability to efficiently and reliably manage corporate workstation power is more vital than ever, not only for the environment, but also for today's highly competitive business environment. Powering off computers during non-business hours can save up to $75 per year per PC. In one case study, Union Bank reduced PC energy use by 3.2 million kilowatt hours annually, saving $387,000 and eliminating 2,313 tons of CO2 emissions, equivalent to powering 320 homes. But with tight efficiency and security standards, a proven product you can trust is most important as well. And that's why Adaptiva has developed Green Planet. For Adaptiva Green Planet, everything for Wake on LAN is centrally controlled here in the Adaptiva Workbench Green Planet Wake on LAN perspective. The first things to configure are the global Wake on LAN settings. Here's where we configure the last machine on subnet option. Enabling the last machine on subnet ensures there is always one computer running to handle peer-to-peer Wake on LAN requests. The last machine on subnet is handled automatically by the Adaptiva client, selecting the best machine based on criteria such as the operating system, where server is preferred over workstation, and chassis type, where workstations are preferred over laptops. And in case the last machine powered on a subnet is manually turned off, the Adaptiva client will then wake another computer to handle peer-to-peer Wake on LAN, with the clients being aware of each other and selecting the next best computer to handle LMS duties to wake up. Also configurable here are timing settings for the peer-to-peer Wake on LAN protocol. These include message response delay, wait duration between attempts, and boot up delay. Finally, for the global Wake on LAN settings options, we can specify default Wake on LAN settings for package deployments, application deployments, software update deployments, and task sequence deployments. Here we can set each deployment type to either set the Wake on LAN settings to blank if you want to configure each deployment of a given type individually, or we can set it to use the global settings for each deployment of a given type. We can also set each deployment type to automatically enable or disable Wake on LAN based on the Wake on LAN flag in the Sccm. Once we have our global settings configured, we just need to go back up to the top and save the configuration. Next to configure are the global Wake on LAN settings for each deployment type. Each deployment type will have the same settings to configure, so for this demo, let's look at the package deployment Wake on LAN global settings. First thing we want to do is enable Wake on LAN by checking the box. Then we need to set the Wake on LAN method, for which we recommend using peer-to-peer magic packets. Finally, we need to configure the stay up duration settings, for which we can specify a fixed time or simply select to stay up until all Sccm operations are completed. Once again, after completing the configuration, back to the top and save the settings. Now with our settings all configured, let's set up a Wake on LAN enabled package in Sccm for deployment. I'll go with Foxit Reader, unattended per system install. Set this as required and send wake up packets. And choose a time for sometime this evening. Now we can go back into the Adaptiva Workbench and expand the packages to look at the individual packages that are set up. Scrolling down, we now find a new package we just set up, and after a couple of seconds we can expand the package and go into the deployment settings. However, if we want any deployments to use settings other than the global configuration, we can make those changes here, which will override the defaults. In this case, I'll set the stay up duration for 30 minutes. And then once complete, just go back up to the top and hit save. To make any individual deployment changes for another deployment type, just navigate to the deployment type settings, expand the deployments, and find the deployment you want to configure. The last item we'll look at is the client settings wake on LAN settings. Here's where you can configure whether or not to let your clients wake up to report for hardware and software inventory, software metering, and software update scans and evaluations, and if so, what wake on LAN method to use. For more information, feel free to email us. We'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and be sure to view our other videos to help conquer the complexity of IT. Adaptiva simply works.